Hey, it's Sunday Night Live, and yet again, I forgot to put the reminder on that I was actually going to do a live stream. So this bit is probably only going to be seen by anyone who watches it back later. So if that's you, this is our special time, and I hope you enjoy it. It's nice that it's just you and me. It's just us time, you and me, where we can just be together and have some private talk, which is important. I think that every now and then we have private time. But here come people in the chat. Luke and Celtic King, hello. Yeah, I was playing Red Dead Redemption and lost track of time. That game is a bit like that. It's easy to lose several hours while playing it. A little bit immersive. I enjoy it. I enjoy it a lot. And the fucking webcam's been acting up again. The exposure was all wrong, so I don't know if it's right at the moment. I think it is. I'm going to get on my phone and Luke. Yeah, no, that looks fine. That looks fine. That looks fine. Big shiny forehead, but I can't hide the fact I have a big shiny forehead, basically. So, or alternatively, what I could do. That's right. The Rugby League is on tonight, isn't it? Yes. No, that's not what I wanted to do with my laptop. Brightness, contrast, sharpness, white balance, backlight, gain, hue. No, that's all fine. I'll leave it like that. That looks fine to me. That looks absolutely fine. Just do that. Go. Yes, AFL last night and Rugby League tonight. And then, I don't know. Although, look, one of the benefits of the COVID pandemic has been stupid fucking sports mercifully sidelined. I mean, they were still kind of sort of happening, but also because I wasn't in an office, so I didn't have to. You like that? It's one of my T Fury pop culture mashup ones. Doctor Who mashed up with Where the Wild Things Are. This is another one I got in a lucky dip too. I got a remarkable number of. Actually, at one point they were saying with the lucky dips, you can actually say, "Please just give me Doctor Who t-shirts," or "Please don't give me Doctor Who t-shirts," because Doctor Who t-shirts were very popular on the site, but very divisive. Like they always, I think from the number of times they had Doctor Who t-shirts, they always sold a lot. But then there were people who didn't like Doctor Who were getting angry at how many Doctor Who t-shirts there were. So does T Fury still run? That's interesting. A $12 shirt of the day, I guess. I don't know if I trust them. They do face masks now, of course. Of course they do. Wow, they actually have some good ones. Bill and Ted be excellent to each other. Professor Farnsworth, I don't want to live on this planet anymore. I'm surrounded by assholes. An angry kitten saying stay away. A Dalek saying self-isolate. Yes, the Doom song. That's a particularly apt one from Invader Zim. Yeah, tempting. Anyway, I did not go to the CBD, no. Savannah, you still get the emails. I unsubscribed because they went through a patch of apparently being incredibly unreliable and not fulfilling orders. So I unsubscribed because it didn't seem worth it. And now, of course, because they come from overseas, anything ordered from overseas takes for fucking ever to arrive at the moment, like a month or two. So I feel now is not the right time to re-establish my relationship with T Fury. So I don't have any new T-shirts. I got the same ones I've had for years. But it is what it is. Isn't it funny? Like last night I was going, I might go to CBD today. The thought never, I wasn't doing anything particularly important today. I was like lounging about and playing Red Dead Redemption. Oh, okay, I was editing some videos as well. That feels a bit more productive. The thought never occurred to me once. Oh, hey, why not go to CBD? I just blanked. I completely blanked on the idea of going into the city. So I don't know when I will, actually. So I don't know if Aidsy will join us. I have not heard from him today. So we wait with bated breath to see if we are going to see Aidsy. Because who knows at this point? Who knows? So we just carry on, I guess, my wayward friend. Wayward Son is the song, isn't it? Carry on, my wayward son. So yes, here we are. This will be not a long live stream because I've got work tomorrow, and because I did 3 long live streams in a row. And well, I feel like I did get a reasonable amount of sleep. I still need to get proper sleep before work tomorrow, as it were. So yes, another exciting week of working from home. I swear to God, I never would have imagined this scenario where I work from home for 6 months. And in fact, by the time this shit's over, I think I will have been working from home for at least 8 months. The vibe I get from my workplace is they will not be rushing us back to the office. And man, I'm going to avoid it for as long as I can. Working from home fucking rocks. And I have been more productive at home than the office. So I don't need to be in the office to get shit. And again, the boss can objectively evaluate that. I've been getting shit done at home. I mean, I don't, in this current engagement and me being a contractor, I'm currently contracted till the end of June next year, which was a fucking awesome extension to get. So I got this, notwithstanding something could happen, but I got this contract till the end of June next year, which is fucking great. And I don't really envision going back to the office full time at all while on this contract. It might come up like, you should come in sometimes, or 1 or 2 or 3 days a week, and I'll be like, okay, but it's working from home is not only not harmed my productivity, it's improved it. So, Savannah, where are you? So I should specify for anyone on YouTube, Savannah's on Facebook. where are you again? Where the COVID's getting bad? Because that's a few places at the moment. We're just getting it under control. But because I actually work for a government department, and they'd made it clear that they want to be at the forefront of promoting the health message of only go to work if you have to go to work, like only go into the office if you have to. So we'll be like the last ones to be going back to the office. So some people will want to. Nebraska, okay. Yeah. I worry for you, my friend. I worry for the US. I worry for large chunks of Europe. Worry, of course, for India, Russia too, for that matter. Those seem to be the hot spots. Yet to hear any horror stories from any African nations. Not even particularly from the Middle East, but from you go Europe to Central Asia, not good. East Asia and Southeast Asia, somewhere between good and not bad. And yeah, then you get down into the South Pacific, and the stories are largely good. But yeah, very worried about the US, I'm afraid. Just hitting record cases, going from, a record of 75,000 cases in a day to the next day record of 83,000. Who knows? And the thing is, the deaths from outbreaks like this are lagging. When you get just a huge spike in cases like this, the deaths lag by 2 to 6 weeks. It can take some people, unfortunately, well, actually, if you're going to die soon or die a long drawn out thing, soon's probably better. But it can take some people 6 to 8 weeks to die. So the deaths from a surge in cases lags by a month or two. And US has got surging cases. So I think somewhere down the line, the dying starts, which is not good. Savannah, there's not many people around your area, but a few cases. You're considered essential because you're a mechanic. That actually makes sense, yes. Doesn't do a lot for your stress levels and your concern for your own well-being. I absolutely understand that. But yeah, the people who ended up or being recognized as essential roles is like, on one level, it's like, oh, cool, I'm essential. Another level, like, oh, okay, so I've got to take all the fucking risks. Yeah. Hey, Megaleech, how's it going? As I said before, I unfortunately feel very confident that the majority of the world is not going to learn the lessons they need to learn for this. And to me, the big lessons are insecure work, the gig economy, where people have to go to work or they don't pay rent and they have to work multiple shitty jobs, or they can't pay rent. That's a time bomb waiting to explode. The pandemic's exposed just how damaging to everyone that can be if there's a big chunk of the population that can't afford to not work and can't afford to not be in multiple jobs, because then you just get disease spread exponentially worse. Basically, this thing of companies getting away with all sorts of, well, I'm just going to call it criminality because I think it's criminal what they do. Getting away with this bullshit in the name of profit is absolutely ridiculous. Because if we start getting worst case scenarios happen in the next 6 months, and that by that I mean millions of people dying, it's the fault of late stage capitalism. basically. It could have been prevented if the destructive engine of late-stage capitalism hadn't created the world we're in now. So, Chris, speaking of disease, oh, hey, family, you had a friend who hadn't seen his family for months because they had COVID, still recovering. Ooh, yeah, the old long fucking COVID, man. Damn. And good evening, Stella and Shannon. Nice to see you. I think Melbourne's gonna win the Thugby League. Maybe. I actually don't care. Not at all. Couldn't even tell you who the other team in the game is, actually. And just not my thing. But if you're excited by it, go you. That's fine. If anyone saw the fucking Dan Andrews press today, where he said what I kind of expected him to say. It's like, okay, we were about to announce a bunch of easing, but we've got that breakout in the northern suburbs and we don't know what's going to happen. We need a couple of days to assess what's happening. And hopefully it's all going to be contained and we'll be able to go forward with the sort of announcements we're going to make. But we need to be sure. And all reasonable people went, that makes perfect sense. All fuckwits behaved like fuckwits. Fox of Fate, good evening to you. I feel like I haven't seen you for a while. And yes, Chris, I do worry about your winter. Your winter is just the northern hemisphere winter, I fear, is going to be very bad because on top of, well, I noticed places in Europe are doing quite harsh lockdowns. So they might avoid the worst of the COVID and actually the regular flu. But the US, which seems on, well, was it Trump's, even if Trump loses the election, is technically president till January, which means it would be several months into the new year before, a Biden administration could instigate significant changes, and you'd still have individual states being fuckwits. So yeah, I don't see America getting any relief in winter. It's going to be bad. Exactly, Philip. The fucking, I know, just journos because they're scum. They're desperate to do gotchas, and it's just like, shut the fuck up. Who the fuck are you helping? Shannon, it is reminiscent of the way they attacked Gillard, the Murdoch press, but particularly they're super angry at Daniel Andrews because they spent they didn't expect him to win the first election he won, and then they spent years doing propaganda to say he was terrible and Melbourne was crime-ridden, and no one believed them because it wasn't true. And then he won with an increased majority, and they were super fucking angry because they'd been blowing their propaganda trumpet for literally years saying he's bad, get rid of him. And they got super shitty that the public didn't listen. And so they get more and more fucking vile. Oh, yeah, absolutely, Stella. The former health minister, the one who copped a bullet because she was ultimately responsible for the fuck up. She's being shallow and vindictive and shitty and incredibly counterproductive to the public health message by basically revenge sniping on Dan Andrews. And he was hilarious, though, when the journalists go, no, the former health minister said, and he goes, I have nothing to say about those comments. Why not? I just have nothing to say. I don't need to justify that. I have nothing to say to that. It's just like he's actually gotten really good at just shutting them down, and they fucking hate it. And it's working in his favor. It's working against them. The public opinion of the media goes lower and lower and lower and lower, absolutely justifiably. and the public perception of Andrews either maintains or improves. And all these fucking hacks are doing are devaluing their own livelihood, and fuck the lot of them, basically. Chris, you think some states, well, they let me guess, Democratic governors in the states that are going to shut down, not Republicans? I don't know. Oh, God, that's a disturbing musical elevator. The former Health Minister Makakos reminded you of an awful boss that you had at work. Yeah, it's not good. Yeah, Philip, it's certainly practice for both the journos and Andrews, but the journos are failing and continuing to lose face and continuing to lose credibility in the public eyes, and Andrews remaining solid, and they're fucking dumb. Hello, Nintendo Lunchbox in Las Vegas. Viva, in fact. So, yeah, I mean, I started with like watching the presser today. One journo, he said something like, a thing that had already been answered, but he asked a very level question to the dude who's in charge of the contact tracing. And I thought, okay, you could argue, oh, he's asking questions that's just been answered. But what he what he needed for his reporting was a quote. He knew the answer, and it wasn't a shitty question. It wasn't a gotcha question. It was a question that had been answered, and he knew the answer to it. But he had to ask this dude directly to get a quote from that dude so he could report that quote. And then you got the real fuckwits with just desperately trying to do a big gotcha thing, and you could just sort of feel the public mood towards them just shifting, like, fuck you, idiots. Yes, musical aviator. Biggest joke in Victoria at the moment is the LNP think they're a viable opposition. They just fucking suck and no one likes them. Oh, that's an interesting approach, Chris. You're saying like Indiana, which is a Republican governor, are going to close counties rather than entire states. That can work, saying that county is worse. So remains to be seen. Savannah, your state never even had a mask mandate. Oh my God. Yeah, the masks are just so simple and so effective. But yes. Shannon asking, how do I feel about Dan Andrews' handling of COVID? Was weird. Everyone's going, the hotel quarantine. It's layers more complex than most people are reporting. And because there were those stories which turned out to be false about how slack the security guards were, and they were like, rooting people in the rooms and that sort of thing. And those turned out to not be true. As I understand it, the majority of the outbreak actually came from staff in the hotel who were infected and then went home and infected their families and infected other people. And that's where it got out. And also with the people having multiple jobs. You can point to multiple systemic problems, but I think overall Andrews has been handling it well, and particularly the pressure of dealing with the second wave outbreak, which has just been like this terrible, unrelenting pressure for months on end, and he hasn't cracked, which I find amazing, honestly. Kirsten Hellion, hello to you. I'd say, Chris, from your point of view, this has been handled well, amazingly good. So, Philip, you're asking about media. In the US, many people talk about the left-wing media, CNN, NBC, and measured being left. In Australia, we're saying stuff about Murdoch, right-wing media being full of shootings. Okay. All media outlets have their shortcomings. And CNN and MSNBC in the US have their shortcomings. The whole thing about them being liars is actual, just utterly false propaganda from Donald Trump. Absolutely insane, societally destabilizing propaganda from Donald Trump. It's as simple as that. He's made that the narrative by repeating the lie over and over and over and over. MSNBC is what you could call small L liberal, but still very establishment. CNN is only left-wing if you think Channel 10 Australia is left-wing, okay? It's basically, it's no more left-wing than any of the commercial broadcast networks are in Australia. It is absurd falsification to say CNN is left-wing. You can find faults with their reporting and whatnot, but you know, by and large, I wouldn't hit them with a big stick. Yeah, that whole narrative is blatant propaganda lies pushed by Trump. Whereas if someone doesn't think the Murdoch media is horrifically biased to the point of being nothing but propaganda, I don't know what to say to someone who would think that. But yeah. So this is so weird that everyone except me can see Grasshopper on YouTube, which is weird AF. Yeah, anyway, c'est la vie. I keep meaning to check certain things. In fact, if AIDSy comes on, I'm going to put it on you because I'll forget. If AIDSy comes on, remind me that I'm going to go and check something on my other computer, and I'll let AIDSy talk while I do that. But it's not a huge deal. But anyway, yeah, Savannah, that's the best way to describe the major media outlets in the US. Corporatist. They are of the establishment. They push the establishment line. Some of them, you know, may give more lip service to progressive causes than others, but at their heart, they are corporate entities. They are 100% of the establishment. Yes, Philip, I'm actually with you. It's not just the mistrust of media that's bothering. The Trump narrative and his people who are inspired by his lunacy around the world, like the fucking Liberal Party in Australia and the Tories in the UK, they've undermined the concept of truth. They have undermined the concept of objective reality. Again, you actually can argue there's no such thing, but they've destroyed the concept of a baseline version of truth, and they will attack the most self-evident truths purely in the name of ideology, and it's like they continue to assert, people are sick of experts. It's like people don't want to hear from someone who's dedicated their whole life to studying a particular issue. They just want opinionated voices. And it's just like that shit. And it's mainly, but not solely, been the practice of conservatives around the world to actually undermine the concept of reality. That is sick and wrong. It's fucking despicable. And they've just been doing it. Like Trump just shat all over any of the concepts of, you know, the norms of societal behavior. And so the people who aren't as extreme as Trump have just gone, fuck yeah, he opened the barn door. We can now do literally whatever we want. We can lie, and when we're held up as liars, we can say fake news. We can say we have alternative facts. We can say people are sick of experts. It's absolutely ridiculous. Savannah, to be fair, it's not just Trumpers who only want to have their views validated. They don't want to hear from an expert who contradicts them. That is actually a problem of human behavior. And I feel I've been guilty of it. I put an effort into not being like that, but I think I've probably been guilty of it over the past. But yeah, the Trumpers are extreme in as much as they will clearly reject incredibly self-evident truth, stuff that's just got a mountain of evidence to back it, and present something that is obviously a fucking lie. It's like, here's the thing that has all the evidence behind it, and it's obviously fucking true, and they just hold on. But here's a clear and obvious lie that reinforces my worldview, so I'll go with that. That's just fucking crazy. Gecko getting up and making breakfast. Excellent stuff. I had mac and cheese for dinner. It was pretty good. So that was a couple of hours ago now. Actually, I had a comparatively early dinner. It's. It's going on. Don't know how long I'm going to go on tonight. See how tired I get. Yesterday was a nightmare, was it? Were you tired, or was just other stuff happening to make the day a nightmare? My yesterday, just nothing happened, man. Nothing happened in my yesterday. Just hanging around the house. Oh my God, you forced yourself to stay awake till 7 p.m. trying to avoid jet lag. And Savannah's at 4:30 a.m. drinking coffee. Oh dear. Abigail, hello. Good evening and welcome. Welcome to you. Yes. We have all sorts of time zones going on here. There's one thing I found, like, I don't really get jet lag, for instance, when I travel. There is a conscious thing, is like going between Australia and the UK. Like one time, it's like it took so long to get there, and by the time we got to the house where we were staying, it was like 11 a.m. and I realized I kind of haven't slept. I've just had little grabs of sleep over the last 36 hours, and it's only 11 a.m. Like, really, I have to stay, if I want to be in a normal frame of mind, I have to stay awake for another 10 hours and at least. And so I did, and the next day I was fine. And the other people I was traveling with were all sort of, and I don't know. I've never had a significant problem. Abigail, because you have delayed sleep phase disorder, you're in a constant state of jet lag, which sucks. Ooh, Kirsten, you got a fancy new cooking machine. Of what variety is your fancy new cooking machine? I'm always excited by, new things. Because, I mean, you can just go out in the world and stuff. Everything I buy, I've been buying online for months. No, I did. I bought more booze online on Friday and Saturday night, and they're both getting delivered by Sendle, which is because they're both coming from Melbourne, and Sendle is a Melbourne-based courier thing. And and it's been booze people who've used Sendle before. It like fucking arrives the next business day. So stuff I ordered on Friday and Saturday night might arrive on Monday, sometime next week anyway. but it might be Monday because they've been that blindingly fast forward. Ooh, a Thermomix, but you're not joining the Thermomix cult. Damn. Yes, Abigail, imagine going out to a department store to buy things. What a wild concept. Yes, it is wild. The booze I bought, I bought a couple from Marionette because I'm almost out of the Curacao, and I thought, fuck it, I'll get their cassis as well, because I don't have anything like that, and it's often a cocktail component. So I got 2 from Marionette, and I ordered some cocktails from Bar Americano, because it's like one of my favorite places in the city, and I really like the drinks. So I thought, I was also showing them some support. So I spent about $100 at Bar Americano. Oh God, Gecko, yeah, bed bugs. I saw that you said getting rid of bed bugs is a fucking major undertaking. We actually did it. When I say we, Mrs. Angry did all the work. Just this massive cleaning thing, and then got these mattress covers, and we moved house. And new house, no bed bugs. Fucking miracle. Wow, your husband forced you to go to the fishing shop, Kirsten. Displeased. Philip, how good has this year been for big corporates? Yes, somehow the ultra rich got ultra richer this year, which is fucking sickening. I think we should just be metaphorically holding them upside down by their ankles and shaking them till all the money falls out. I swear to fucking God. It's like, people go, are you a Marxist? No, I don't follow I've not actually read in detail the teachings of Marx. But I would absolutely have rules like, hey, corporation and business owner, you cannot have a profit if you are not paying your staff, including the people you've got fucking working in overseas factories. You cannot make a profit unless you are paying a living wage to all the people who generate your revenue. Okay? If people in country, they need to be paid a living wage. Like one job, someone should be able to afford to live from it. If you need that job done, you need to pay the person doing it enough to fucking live. This is not radical. This is basic human decency. So you, corporation, Jeff Bezos, etc., you cannot have profit if you are A, not paying everyone who generates your revenue a living wage, and B, paying to clean up whatever fucking mess you make. Whether that be physical mess, like manufacturing companies that cause pollution, or in the case of companies like Facebook that generate, right-wing hate squads and, in fact, genocide around the world, you have to spend enough money on controlling the content so you're not actually providing platforms for people who use your communication tool to coordinate acts of ethnic cleansing, which has happened multiple times on Facebook. Those would be my 2 big, broad brushstrokes. Corporations can't be turning huge profits when the people who generate their revenue don't have a living wage, and corporations can't be making huge profits if they're not cleaning up the literal or metaphorical messes they make. That profit has to be expended on cleaning up their shit. This is not radical. This is them taking responsibility. And this thing that has gotten progressively worse since the third quarter of the 20th century. Since then, things have been getting progressively worse. The idea that the capitalists can just be fucking plunderers and not take responsibility for what they do. It's going right back to the fucking colonialism of the. Well, when was the worst of colonialism happening? From the 1600s to the 1800s, the plundering of the Americas and Asia and Africa. That the Europeans, the English, the French, the Dutch, the Belgians, fucking everyone else who did it. There were a few others who did it, literally causing hundreds of millions of deaths and stealing trillions of dollars in wealth and getting away with it. We're on the verge of the capitalists moving into that territory now. Gecko, you make a good point. We ran away from the bed bug problem, but we took our beds with us. And that's the thing. That's what gets you with bed bugs. Like, you pick them up when you're traveling or something, and they get into your clothes and stuff. And then when you go home, they're in your home. So running away is not that much. Gecko, you don't like marks and you put Mein Kampf in a bonfire. There. Yes. Philip, I agree. I'm glad you think it's not radical either. So I just want the capitalists to take responsibility because they literally get away with murder, and we're seeing it on a planet scale. They don't take responsibility. It's like, I made this much profit, and going, this many hundred thousands of people suffered horribly for you to get that profit. But I made a profit, so I'm great. It's like, oh, look at all this profit. You are literally destroying the planet. You are destroying our environment. People will not be able to survive. This will ultimately cause the collapse of civilization. And it's like, oh, yeah, but I got a profit. I got a profit last quarter. Like, fuck them. And if it takes hanging a few of them in the town square, fucking do that. Nug, you came in on my angry political rant. There you go. So... yes. And yes, Aspie, Elon Musk is an moron. He's a piece of shit. Elon Musk is an absolute piece of shit. Has believed his own PR, massively overestimates his own intelligence and perspicacity, and so continually humiliates himself publicly because he's not as smart as he thinks he is. No, probably listen to the Exxon episode of Behind the Bastards. Behind the Bastards has fucking great content to be angry at fucking capitalists. He hates Mark Zuckerberg so much. His, the first time he did one on Mark Zuckerberg was a couple of years ago, and is basically saying Mark Zuckerberg is the worst person of the 21st century so far. And then there was one a couple of weeks ago where it's like, Mark Zuckerberg should be put on trial at The Hague for crimes against humanity. And it's because the Facebook platform is used for ethnic cleansing, and they know it, and they don't do anything approaching enough of it. Gecko, Elon Musk, any success or wealth Elon Musk has ever gotten has been by buying other people's technology and other people's intelligence. And then he has the fucking audacity to act like he's Tony Stark, and he's not. It's all these companies, from PayPal through to Tesla, are built on other people's intelligence, other people's ideas. He just had access to money, which incidentally came from his fucking family's apartheid mines. And he's a fucking piece of shit. And he is nowhere near as smart as he thinks he is. Abigail, the most cringeworthy video. Watch episodes of Joe Rogan with Elon Musk. Yeah, Joe Rogan is... what do I say? In so many ways, he's this typical kind of sort of well-meaning white guy in that he is absolutely oblivious, as far as I can tell, to his position of privilege. He has no idea how privileged he is. He thinks he's just a rough, tough, ordinary kind of guy, and he's just super, super, super privileged, and he has no idea of how privileged he is. And so if it's just going along safely, it's like, cool. It's like, okay, I'm a stoner with an inquiring mind. Here's a cool person. I'll just let them talk. And that's cool. And I'll give them a thing. And then he goes, I think I should also give an actual Nazi the same airtime. I think I should give someone who's into ethnic cleansing the same airtime. And it's just like the absolute level of obliviousness he has towards his own level of privilege absolutely does my head in. What's that, Chris? Facebook left. Why was Facebook having a drilling rig in the first town? But anyway, left a drilling rig in a small town on the Oregon coast. Since the underwater cable they were pulling got stuck, and they just, oh, okay, they got a thing to try and get a cable, and they just left it there. Yes, Stella, Musk's anti-union bullshit. And yeah, and that thing with Bolivia, we'll kill wherever we want. Even if he could say, it's a joke, it's like, you're joking about the fact you're personally profiting from right-wing militias overthrowing democratically elected governments. It's a funny joke, dude. Oh, yeah, Abigail. Of course he devotes an entire episode to a turf. Of course he fucking does, because he's just showing both sides. So I just love Kirsten's answer to what's the point of a Thermomix? There is no point. It's a fancy blender that also does slow cooking. And from those live streams we used to watch with Henry from Applewood, you can make some fun cocktail ingredients with a Thermomix. Nug, you want to like Tesla cars, but besides the Model S, they're ugly, and you hate the lack of tactile buttons. Yeah, the development of Tesla seems to be far too much of, hey, common proletariat, we're far smarter than you. You just have to like what we do. Yeah. That was it, Gecko. You're saying Kamala Harris wants to legalize cannabis? It's increasingly legalized on the state level in the US. Did she really say that? I want to look it up. She's a fucking cop, man. Harris? Ooh, damn. Legalize cannabis. Oh, yeah, there you go. October 8th, weed stocks surge as Kamala Harris vows to decriminalize pot. God damn. Dude, I'd missed that. I had absolutely missed that. There you go. Yeah, Chris, reckon, yeah, don't, if you want an electronic vehicle, don't buy a Tesla. All the other ones are good. Yeah, Philip, there is no good argument against legalizing weed, basically. But we still have people argue it. Well, I don't know. You people saying today. I'm just going to bring it up again. Yeah, decriminalize, not legalize. But anyway, so Wednesday night's debate with Prince, Harris said she and Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden would expunge the criminal records of people convicted of marijuana-related offenses in the past. Yeah, she categorically said marijuana would be decriminalized at the federal level. So it's black and white. Yeah, that was a specific thing she said. What happens if and when they're in power is not necessarily what they say ahead of time is going to happen, but that was an absolutely unequivocal commitment. So yeah. Savannah, it is an important question of what form decriminalization will take. What that would mean, because even though there are states that have legalized marijuana distribution systems, that is illegal at a federal level. And I don't remember if anyone remembers one of Trump's short-lived gremlins, Jeff Sessions, as Attorney General, kept saying he was going to prosecute the states that had legalized. Yeah, the states have legalized marijuana, not decriminalized. Well, it's decriminalized as well, but they've got a legalized framework, like the framework for selling alcohol. And if at a federal level you decriminalize it, then that can leave it open to individual states to set up legalized structures for the selling and distribution of weed and cannabis products without fear of there being any prosecution. So, yeah. Oh, Stella, I've seen that one too. Sorry, on Etsy, a COVID mask, which is like the alien face hugger, complete with a tail to wrap around your neck. I have seen that one. Yes. Oh, yeah, I know with interest, Megalisha said taxing legalized marijuana could save the US. Philip does point out one product can't, because yes, at a federal level, taxing cannabis product sales would absolutely generate hundreds of millions of dollars in tax revenue. The problem is the US has trillions of dollars of deficit. It's possibly more than trillions now. I don't know. It's a very big number. Philip, you probably just search Etsy for alien face hugger face mask, and you'll probably find it. So, Gecko's got an idea for a Trump presidential library section filled with fiction books and one rack of non-fiction with titles like Trump's racist tweets, and a giant book with a healthcare plan that's blank. That's right. They did that thing. It's something like, here's the book that shows, that's all the things that Trump's done. And they apparently didn't expect the journo to look at it because the book was blank, which was weird. Yes, it is very weird. There's an old joke about Trump was preparing the Trump presidential library, but there was a tragedy when fire struck and the library was burned down. Both books were lost, which was a tragedy because Trump hadn't finished coloring in the second one. And that joke actually goes back to at least Bob Dole in the 90s. So, but it works for Trump. Yeah, Gecko, I also am not an artist, so I can't do it. Predator mask. Yep. I could definitely do that. There are some There are some good design face masks. Like some of the ones I was just looking at on T Fury are quite good. But oh God, speaking of masks, that's a thing that I'm probably going to be wearing the majority of the time through to the end of next year. I mean, it might not be mandatory everywhere next year, but it's going to be fucking recommended on things like public transport and enclosed spaces. And I will fucking wear one on public transport and enclosed spaces. But the shitty thing is, while it's some protection for me, the wearing masks is mostly for everyone else. Like if someone without a mask who's contagious sneezes at you, the mask actually only offers comparatively minimal protection. Some protection, definitely, but not that much. But whereas if the infected person is the one that's wearing the mask and they sneeze, the vast majority of the grossness is actually contained by the mask. So wearing masks is for other people. Like it provides minimal protection to you, but significant protection to everyone else. And that's why they work. Because when you don't know if you're sick and you just wear the mask, you're protecting other people. Fucking assholes who won't. Like I was in the fucking supermarket. I get so angry. Supermarket. There's always dick noses. The one, and I've used this line on the live stream many times. I call them dick noses because when they got their nose hanging out of their mask, it's like I can say like, that's not how it works. It's not working unless it's covering your nose. You fuck. It's like, you know, I could pull my dick out, my fly, and run around with my dick out. And when you get upset, I say, but I'm wearing pants. Technically, I'd be correct. I am wearing pants, but they're not doing like the main thing they're meant to do. And that's what we get with you, with your fucking nose hanging out, you dick nose. So, yes. I get angry. And I saw two people, I'm always seeing people with their fucking nose out and it shits me. I saw two people in the supermarket and the mask was down so low, I could fucking see their top lip. And it's just like, you fucking arsehole. No one likes wearing them, but it's not that big an imposition. And it's just like, just, you know, fucking mask, I'd have a really sore hand because there'd be a fuck ton of people to slap. Yeah, Gecko, I've actually seen a couple comic versions of dick noses, dick faces. Yes, Phil, they have it down there, it's just a chin. I get so fucking angry. And it's just like, it's not worth making a scene publicly, particularly because you don't know how violent someone's going to be. But Jesus Christ, they shit me. Yes, another little rant from me tonight. I fucking hate people who make a whole fucking song and dance of not wearing a mask properly. Fucking ignorant, selfish fucking pieces of shit. Oh, how I hate them. Now I have to decide if I'm going to make a drink. As in alcoholic beverage. Might have one, I don't know. Ugh. Yeah, that's the worst, Gecko. If you got someone who's actually in your space, refusing to wear a mask and refusing to fucking distance from you. I'm so fucking glad they're actually legally required in Melbourne. And bunch of a-holes getting fined and arrested when they make a scene about it. The cops will fucking pepper spray them. And you're right. Yeah, see, Gecko, you really get angry at the people. You want to give them a hard time, but you don't want to get in a fight. And you never fucking know how violent someone's going to be. And they're just assholes. They are just fucking assholes. Like, I had someone try to be all sort of touchy. Oh, what if there's a genuine medical thing? And I went, first, I call bullshit. I call utter fucking bullshit. The chances of someone who has a genuine medical need to not wear a mask, and there are cases where that's true, the chances of anyone who's in that situation being a total cunt about it is about 1 in a million, as far as I'm concerned. Okay, I'm exaggerating, but 1 in 1,000. I have no hesitation in saying that, because for a start, there's actually just a tiny number of people have a valid reason, and the people who have a valid reason tend to not be dicks about it. Oh, Gecko, Abigail, you actually called someone out for being a dick. No, it felt good. Nice. Well, you go for it. I'm just concerned that I might escalate aggression because they really make me genuinely angry. And I don't think I could say calmly, hey, don't do that, because I'd open my mouth and go, for fuck's sake, what are you doing? Just like, fucking hell. Nice, Chris, having thousands of people at rallies against COVID restrictions in DC. Yep, and they're going to do it. Yep, infections. Ugh. And the other thing, so many people in the US seem to want to like have Halloween trick-or-treating, pretending there's not an issue. That is going to be a nationwide super spreader event. It's going to be so fucking bad. Yeah. But anyway, actually, I'm trying to think, what have I not used in a cocktail recently? Limoncello. Got a really nice limoncello I haven't used much. See what comes up if I search limoncello, actually. Glee, go for a dial, have a drink. Thank you. Oh, no, you talk to the freedom fighters again, Glee. You're so sweet, but those people are a waste of your time. I like that approach, Chris. Get a COVID-19 quarantine sign for your door, and if anyone knocks, turn your alarm on. Happy Halloween, fuckers. Oh, dear. Okay, so I am going to look up Limoncello. How to make limoncello? All the old Italian men in Melbourne make limoncello. Don't want a limoncello recipe. I want a limoncello cocktail. Sparkling limoncello gin, spruce seeds. All right. 7 best limoncello cocktails, 11 cocktail recipes. I'll try these two, which are sites I don't usually use. So, Town and Country. Fly Me to the Moon Margarita. Tequila, limoncello. Oh, fuck me. That actually sounds good. Amaretto, I'd put the Mac in. So tequila, limoncello, amaretto, lime juice, simple syrup, orange juice. I might put blood. Oh, fuck, I'm going to make that one, I think. Ooh. First out, a limoncello mule. No, I don't want that. Don't like ginger beer. Scrappino, I don't have. That has gelato, sorbetto, and I don't have that. A Walk in the Park, rum, limoncello, and vermouth. Ooh. That's okay. Apricot and sage. That's a bourbon one. Bourbon, limoncello, and sage. Lemon vodka, limoncello, lemonade. That's a bit boring. Bourbon, limoncello, peach puree, lemon juice. No, that first one got me, man. I thought I was getting carried away, but it's much better than any of the others. Fly Me to the Moon margarita. Okay, that's fucking top of the list. Amalfi Dream, vodka, limoncello, lemon juice, and mint leaves. I've got some mint leaves just there. Kind of sounds boring though. Black basil, Vodka. Who the fuck makes vodka cocktails? 3 ounces. 3 ounces of vodka. Jesus. Okay. A bonbon. Vodka. Is this page sponsored by vodka? Vanilla vodka, limoncello, butterscotch schnapps. Ugh, Campari. Fuck off. And that's got vodka. Who fucking makes these? Are all vodka. Who the fuck makes vodka cocktails? Sorry, I'm sounding like a fucking snob. Oh, finally, there's a tequila one. Tequila, limoncello, orange liqueur, simple syrup, orange juice. That's slightly different. Oh, no, I definitely want that one with the amaretto, actually. Well, it's going to be Mac. Kentucky lemon drop, bourbon, simple syrup, limoncello, ladycello, grenadine, limoncello, rum. First, nice. Lemon capri. Ugh, fuck, coffee. No. Vodka. It's so many of these are vodka. What the fuck is that about? What the fuck is that about? Vodka's just for getting drunk. It's got no taste when you put it in a cocktail. It's just for fucking getting drunk. Which, okay, I'm on board with. I should stress, I'm absolutely on board with the getting drunk thing. Sorry, Gecko, I missed something while I was reading there, did I? Costumes, a big plastic CDC protective suit. Portrait be done up in plastic and bright lights, quarantine signs. Excellent. No, that's the plan. Ooh, Stella, fish and chips. If you got a good fish and chip shop, we got a good fish and chip shop. Oh, yeah. Now, I sound really snobby with a vodka cocktail. All I'm saying is in a cocktail, vodka has no taste. It's for getting drunk. And look, fine. If that's the whole purpose, and this is absolutely me being a snob. People ask me sometimes, are you snobby about your cocktails and stuff? And I always say no, but I actually am. Because vodka in a cocktail just means you're getting pissed. You're not getting any flavor out of it. Unless you do infusions in the vodka, because you can, because the vodka's got no taste of its own. Ugh. But, yeah, so I was being super snobby then, saying vodka cocktails are pointless because there's no... And I have got the stage where I make cocktails for the taste of them. So, Chris, you've got a quarantine sign. Nice. Megaleech drinking the low sugar apple cider. There are a few good low sugar apple ciders, actually. Yes. Abigail, you're a straight vodka drinker. See, to each their own. I've got perfectly drinkable vodkas. I've still got my little things of Crystal Head, which is a very drinkable vodka. I mean, you know, I got it for the Skull decanter, but it's very drinkable vodka. And I've got some Tito's vodka over there, which is again very drinkable vodka. Vodka's not meant to have a taste. It's meant to be neutral, but the different grains and the different distilling processes, even if they don't cheat and actually put flavors into it, just the different grains and different distilling processes will have some effect on the flavor of it, but it's meant to be neutral. Kirsten drinks straight Navy strength gin. Of course you do. Of course you do. Not really a straight gin drinker, though thanks to Kirsten's influence, I have a lot of gins over there. But I prefer to mix them with something. Savannah, you just like pretty looking cocktails. You can make great non-alcoholic cocktails as well. And in fact, there's a current trend to make like distilled non-alcoholic beverages that actually taste like the various alcohols but don't have alcohol content. But yeah. So I've still got I made a cocktail on Friday night with the Brogan's Way Navy Strength. That's my current Navy Strength gin. Looking Gecko, bad vodka is very, very bad. I remember once making the mistake of buying a really cheap bottle of vodka, and no matter what you mixed it with, it tastes like fucking paint stripper. Philip, mocktails and masturbation. No, you can make very good non-alcoholic drinks. Oh god, even just the fruit juice I was having earlier was good. A couple different fruit juices with lemonade. So I am going to make a Fly Me to the Moon margarita. Pretty simple. It's not even that high alcohol. 1.5 ounces of tequila. But limoncello and my Mac are comparatively lower alcohol content. And that's a shake. Shaky, shaky, shake. I'm going to put my coupe in the freezer. Chill it a bit. Shake it like a Polaroid picture. All right. Get my shaker from over here because I was washing it earlier. Oh, and my strainer. I got this, so I need my jigger. I need my jigger. Do we want to do a Sunday night chat sesh? Angry bunch while I'm making this cocktail. Why not? Who's up for it? Philip, I'm pro masturbation, definitely. If anyone's up for Angry Bunch, why not wind down a Sunday night with hangs? Right. So I need to get the ingredients now. Gecko, quick the bat. Although I can't see you.
You get what?
I can't see you.
Oh, the green light on my camera came on. I'm gonna unplug my camera and see if that fixes it. But I shouldn't need to leave the thing unless I have to restart Firefox. If I stop Cam, you should see the logo. Yep, there it is.
Yep, see the logo. I think it's getting an echo of me too.
Yeah, I've got my speakers on. I haven't put my headphones on just yet.
Yeah. Oh, Glee's having to go off and deal with a cat fight. I assume you mean literal cats as opposed to a nasty fight. Okay, so I've got to get tequila, limoncello, and Mac. Alrighty. Oh, Chris is going to join us too. Where are we?
Hello.
Chris. I can't see you either, Chris. This might be a problem with.
No, it's me. I'm choosing to not.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. You can do that.
So,
We can just chat. Right, let me get my components. So we got limoncello, and I think the Mac's down here. Where's? Oh no, it's here. There's my Mac. Macadamia liqueur. Get the tequila.
Tequila. Oh my.
Tequila, silver tequila.
Chris is fighting with Instagram. That's a shame.
Sugar syrup.
I'm not a big fan of Instagram, to be honest. I'm just on it because other people are.
Oh, hang on a sec. Gecko's back as well. I'll just put some things down and bring Gecko back. And I can see you this time.
Yay.
There's like,
Yeah.
Mega Leech. No, I just didn't take a shower today, so.
Naked Sunday. There you go. All right. I think I know where my lime juice is. Oh no, it's here. It's here.
It's a nice backdrop. It's very colorful. I really like it.
It is, isn't it? Yeah.
I actually made one. It's the star. It's a big star in the middle, all in white. With how like they did the frog or whatever in the middle with the flag or the color diamonds.
Yeah.
I did the pride flag in that, and I said Texas Pride.
Nice.
And I want to print that out, and I'm sure if I put that on like my truck, I would get bullet holes in my truck pretty soon.
Oh my god!
I have
Philip, hello.
Hi, Philip.
Hello, how are we doing? I don't know if
Good. How you doing, man?
Are you in the classroom?
I am not. I I have a whiteboard in my office.
Oh, there you go. I need a
I'm a big nerd.
I need a
I really
Yes,
need
go
one
on,
here on
Phil.
my wall. I really need
Yeah,
one.
I happen to work at different universities, and occasionally when they get rid of equipment, they offer it up to staff, and I end up paying $10, 10 Australian dollars for this enormous whiteboard, and it's bloody, it's wonderful.
You could
glorious.
easily spend $300 or $400 on that. I'm sure if you bought it from the commercial manufacturers.
Plus, oh yeah.
Most,
And go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say that most of my camera equipment that isn't cameras I've gotten from university jobs. And at the end of the year of filming the sports season for them, they'd be like, hey, so these tripods are kind of broken. You want them? Sure. Because I know how to fix them. Microphone.
Yeah.
And the cable. The cable I have. I got a mile of video cable if you need it.
Absolutely. And you know, like, how much is a good tripod worth as well? Like something that's really solid?
Well, if you get one of those commercial camera ones, those can be, $30,000-$40,000 tripods.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Anywhere between $300 to $500 to, like you said, tens of thousands of dollars. It just depends on what you're doing. I mean, very few people buy those really expensive tripods because they're ridiculously overpriced. But most good tripods are about $1,000. No, I got about 3 or 4 of them I didn't pay anything for. So.
Yeah. It's basically they run to as much money as you have. Someone's willing to take that amount.
Pretty much.
Tripod.
Exactly. That's the whole thing with video work. It's like you don't need what's really expensive. You need what's moderately expensive, and that's it.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much how it works. So.
I think pretty much everybody who's gotten into video work initially looks at a red camera and they just go like, wow, red cameras must be the shit because they're amazing. But the reality is that, like, yes, you can't work with set stuff that you spent only $20 with, but like you said, it's mostly about skill after that.
You spend $1,000, you got a good camera. That's all there is.
What was that brand, Gecko?
Well, yeah, what's that brand you got there, Gecko? What is that? What you got there? You got what is that? Hiwa? Hiwa? It's not focusing, so I can't.
He's also on mute. Unmute yourself, buddy.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, my camera doesn't change focus. It's locked permanently. Yeah, this is my dad's tripod. He gave it to me.
Yeah, it's an old tripod.
He grew up with this one.
Is it metal?
It's metal. It's got this real nice thumb screw where you screw it in and then you spin the outer part and it tightens it up.
Perfect.
It's got a T-slot on it.
Yeah, my favorite tripod is a tripod from the 80s. It's just, they made them better then, and they were a lot cheaper.
So, Chris and Gecko, what sort of video work do you guys do?
Video? I don't do any video at all.
I'm the video professional. I've done so much. I've done everything from like running co-run a multimedia production company that did album producing and video producing. And then most recently, I've been working for like ESPN and sports, stuff like that in America. So
that's pretty cool. I would have liked to have gotten into something like that. That would have been pretty nice. Although I did do video production in my 7th grade, first year of middle school. I kind of like.
That's when it's fun. That's when no one's yelling.
I just kind of showed up and started messing around and doing stuff, and that's how I got into it. Even though I was like a year under what I was supposed to be.
Yeah, you know what's funny to me is like people like they make these YouTube channels and they're like, here's how you can get into video production. All right, this is how you can do it. The last guy I hired that has been now working nonstop since I hired him, he was playing basketball. He was just working out in the gym, and I walked in, and he recognized the cases I had were video cases. And I was just all like, are you taking the video courses here at the college? Yeah. And I'm like, you want a job? And he's like, sure. He showed up on time, and he listened to me. Boom. He's been working since. He ended up doing the WNBA the following year.
Yeah, that's all it takes. Someone that listens, shows up on time.
That's all you need. Talent. I can. You need one talented guy for like a project. Everybody else needs to show up. There's
always the 3 classes of people. There's people that just get it and like are automatically good at it. There's the people who can't do it no matter how hard you train them, and then everybody else is just like you can train them.
Yeah. So AZ's line is, I don't want talented people, I want skilled people.
Exactly.
You can learn skill and you can work at skill. And often people with innate talent get very lazy. And
then they leave halfway through a work day after breaking your camera in half because they think that's what they're doing already.
Yes.
So, Ozzy, would you count attitude as being a talent or a skill? I mean, ultimately, what we're boiling down here is that talent, like attitude, is kind of very hard to teach.
Yeah. Would you say confidence is an attitude?
It probably depends what you mean by attitude. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like if you have like an arrogant, cocky attitude and you're willing to learn, that's fine. But if you're arrogant and cocky and because you have a little bit of talent and you're unwilling to learn because you know everything, then I don't want you anywhere near my cameras because you're going to break them.
As long as you can put that attitude in a box and learn what you need to learn to get the job done, then you're fine.
Like, don't get me wrong.
As long as it doesn't interrupt and make it a toxic work environment or something.
Yeah. It's like most of the stuff that I do is with cameras and directing and editing, right? There are thousands of jobs that aren't those three things that you don't need talent for. You seem to show up for. Like, I know a girl in Vancouver, British Columbia, and she's been working on all the CW shows, and she does it and she does props. And she's kind of creative. She has a little YouTube channel, but mostly she just shows up on time and is kind of creative. And so she likes to put marks on stuff and put things together. And she works on projects. She's not, she's not like fucking, some amazing artist or anything, but she gets paid great money and she has a great time. Why? Because she shows up and she's reliable. So.
Sorry, I just got distracted. Glee temporarily came back into the chat and then had to go, oh no, the cats have started again. Why do they both own the box? So my drink got a great color because I put blood orange juice in it. So
that's
the recipe,
cool looking.
Recipe said 15 mils of orange juice and I had blood orange juice. So I use that. That's this color, which is pretty cool.
Man, that Halloween party you're going to have on here, Angry, you're going to have just the coolest looking shit you're going to be drinking. I know it.
I'm going to have a lot of very red drinks, I think. It'd be red, all blood themed drinks.
Yeah. It's funny. I'm drinking apple juice right now from local Washington apples. It's delicious.
Nice. Good apple juice is very good.
Yeah. This is really good local cider, not juice, cider.
Nice. Oh, okay. Is it an alcoholic cider or a non-alcoholic cider?
Non-alcoholic.
Right.
Honey apples. Sorry.
Is it carbonated?
Yeah, it's got a little bit of froth in it, but not
a little bit of fizz.
A little bit.
Okay.
I'm just going through it. It's so good, but I got to try it hot. I've just been drinking these big cups of it cold. I got to get a small hot cup tomorrow morning.
Okay. Make some mold cider. That's good.
Oh, really?
Going into look up some recipes, and you can do this non-alcoholic because they'll all have alcohol content. If you want to do a non-alcoholic one, look up some recipes for mulled cider, which is like a warm cider. Well, that's an old school looking lens.
What you got there, Gecko? Why don't you tell us? That's
interesting. Oh, that's beautiful. Look at that, baby.
Well, this is actually a C-mount security camera lens from a Pelco branded pan tilt zoom camera from, I'd say, the early 90s. The camera, which is like far on the far side of the living room, is one of those larger, like 12-inch domes that you would see, the old ones.
I mean, the question is, Gecko, is can you salvage any of the glass out of that? Because, I mean, obviously the original mechanism, like the sensor is junk now.
Well, the sensor is junk, but it's a C-mount lens, so I can take this garbage off of here and put it on a modern security camera like this one.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You can also put it on any camera.
Any camera that's got the C, but I need the C to CS mount adapter because the flange distance is 5 millimeters too close to the sensor if I put it on a newer one.
And what about actuating the lenses as well? I mean, if this is a PTZ camera, is there like a focus pull and all sorts of other stepper motors that you need to have in there?
There's a motor for the focus, the zoom, and the iris. This is a f1.2.
Oh my goodness.
8 what's the tag? I forget. I think it's like
Where's the manual?
80 to.
Well, don't smudge the glass with your face, man.
Yeah, what?
I mean,
the glass on here is not like super high quality glass. It's big, gets a lot of light.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. I can tell by looking at it.
Yeah.
But what did I say? It was going to be like 80 to 300 millimeter, I think.
That's a great range.
Yeah.
I might be overstating it. I need to find a tag. I don't remember, but I only paid $20 for the whole camera.
That's
if you can use it, that's pretty good.
This is a pretty neat mechanism right here. Here's the sensor.
Oh yeah, you can swap that out, son.
But this, if you turn it, it adjusts the back focus distance.
Yeah, you gotta have a back focus adjustment or it's useless.
Of course, I can take it off completely. There's the sensor. I'm sure it's a monochrome sensor.
Okay.
Yeah, so curiosity as well, Gecko. Just thinking out loud here, right? So, assuming that you can grab some other sensor out of some other camera, that sensor may not be the same size as what was originally designed in there as well, right? So, for example, if I got, like, say, a Canon 7D with a full sensor, it's going to be much larger than...
Yeah, it's going to be larger than a C-mount lens, but there are adapters. And so
there are adapters. You can put the C-mount lenses on modern SLR cameras.
Yeah, like and it you know it may not work perfectly, but somewhere throughout that zoom range, it will eventually cover the whole sensors. You can still kind of use it.
You're just kind of throwing light away.
Yeah, I would recommend a micro because I have my interchangeable lens camera. It's micro four thirds, which can be adapted to virtually any lens. Ever.
This is the 1/3 inch lens or sensor, and this is a 3 megapixel sensor, but it's only a 1/4 inch.
Yeah, it's smaller
sensor.
than 1/3 inch. Yeah.
Smaller than this one.
This is a very different sort of nerding out to last night. I like varieties of nerding out. This is good.
Yeah. This is where I'm like, okay, now we're talking.
And you've got
I'm ready.
here's a bullet camera, and this one actually survived Hurricane Harvey. This was completely underwater.
Yeah, those cameras are tanks, man. Those things are awesome.
Although it did fill up with water and eventually lost power, but I was able to salvage it, and I had to replace the lens. The lens on this is radically different than those ones.
So Gecko, a serious question when it comes to wiring security cameras and whatnot, right? Like, every time I look at security camera kit, they're often... So that's your sensor, is it?
That's the lens.
The lens.
Yeah.
It's a fixed focus, fixed zoom, you know.
Yeah, it's just a little plop it on there and it never moves kind of lens.
All right.
Okay.
So relatively serious question about this. Like, I mean, it looks like you're trying to salvage all bits of awesome gear from all around the place, right? How do you get this all to gel together? Because if you get, say, a digital video recorder, it's going to, like, you've got all this older infrastructure, like different 100 different forms of coax, some that does power over Ethernet at different power and whatnot. Like, how do you go about trying to get that all to work on a modern system?
Well, I mean,
it's not that hard as someone would think. Yeah. Really, if you're talking about security cameras, there's the standard cable is an RG59 /U. It's got a solid copper core, and the shield is 95% coverage copper. There's no aluminum in it. There's no steel in it. And so you've got a variety of different standards nowadays. What's going on?
So I'm making fun of somebody who's knocking.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's my cat. I'm pretty sure. Sorry.
Angry just gave the stare of death.
So
like, don't make me come over there and screw you up. Sorry, go ahead, Gecko. We were listening.
So analog is analog, and you've got you can tell your recorder if you have an analog recorder.
Yeah.
Like 4 different resolutions to record at, either the full NTSC resolution, 3/4 of that, half of that, or 1/4 of it.
Well, don't even get me started. I mean, man, you could have PAL, and that's even more lines.
It's more lines, but the newer stuff you can still use coax. There's like 3 different high definition protocols that will reuse your existing coax.
I mean, eventually everything's going to be over Ethernet cable, and it should.
And it should, yes.
Everything should be over Ethernet. All video, all computer, everything. One cable.
All newer camera systems use Ethernet, and you can see here, it's got the Ethernet connector on it, and an analog. The analog's mainly used if you're just trying to focus it.
Yeah,
and it's the same thing. The same thing with this one. You got your Ethernet, and then you got a connector here. You can hook up a little pigtail to your focus monitor.
Yeah,
you basically adapt it before it hits the digital video recorder, because the video recorder will only take one input style.
Yeah. Because it's just like you can adapt all these cameras to whatever you want. Obviously, if you're going to do something new, you're just going to buy new fucking cameras. You're not going to use these old things. But
now, the video recorder, I mean, it can be your old computer.
Anything.
This is my video recorder here. You can see it there. That's a high-end brand. Something I took out of someone else got an upgrade, and I kept their old stuff. Otherwise, dumpster.
Abigail, that's hilarious. You know what's funny is we used to train and test people at the TV station I ran on equipment and checkouts, and
make sure they're paying attention, right?
Pretty much is all it was. And they were like, man, this test is too hard. I'm all like, did you listen?
Yeah. So I'm going to share my screen here. Which monitor? Is it monitor 1? No,
we got a freeze warning, guys. We got a freeze warning where I live. Anytime it drops below freezing here, people shit their pants. It's hilarious.
So that's Gecko's security cameras, is it?
Oh,
yeah, you can see my dirty, you don't see my mouse cursor, but you see my dirty ass porch. And then I've got this camera on the right side is just sitting on my windowsill looking out of my window because I'm in an apartment. I don't want to mount it on the external part of the building. I'd get yelled at. But if I go into the configuration, you can see
IP cameras.
Yeah, so you just
everything set up.
Yeah, this is how this particular brand of system works. Of course, different brands have their different configuration, but you can see where it's in the column here. It says make. I've got a Sony and I've got an Axis brand camera.
Axis brand.
Those are the first network cameras. But if you go over here, you hit new, and you can tell it what brand camera you have, and then you just tell it what the IP address and the login is. And most cameras will have this one here where it says OnVIF. That's like a universal open source standard that, if it's not in the list, you try OnVIF and it should work.
It's
Alright.
the same program that I use for quite a few of my clients and their security cameras, actually.
Oh, there you go.
Otherwise, if as a last resort is RTSP, and you can go in the camera and configure an RTSP stream, but you're not going to get any analytics, any motion detection. You're not going to get anything but the pure video.
Also, I haven't had the chance yet. Hello, Tetracarbon/Philip. Nice to meet you.
All right, I'm just gonna.
Thank you very much. This is the first time I've actually appeared on.
Yeah, I think it is. I think
chat.
this is the first time we've seen you. We haven't seen that whiteboard before. We were very impressed with that. You look very smart. Like I need a whiteboard like that so I can write all my ideals and all my diagrams.
Hey, Foxy.
Yeah.
Hi, Fox.
So,
Yeah, a whiteboard like that would be fantastic when like I do start going back to work and they're like, how many cameras do you need? I'm like, well, here's how many cameras I want.
That's a good plan. So yes, it might be Philip's first time coming on the stream, but I've actually known Philip for a couple of years. So
okay.
And this, by the way, is a really good cocktail.
It looks.
What's it called again? It's a Fly Me to the Moon margarita. So there you go.
It looks like it looks reminiscent of like tomato juice. It's
got blood orange juice in it. That's why it's that color. And I also wanted to bring up cocktails because Megaleech said something about blue themed drinks for 3rd or 4th of November, and I don't know what that's in reference to.
Yeah, that is a Sinatra song. Okay, I was making sure.
So, you explain to me what a blue cocktail has to do with the 3rd or 4th of November, because
explain to me why Gecko just pulled his shoes out of his oven.
You know what?
Because they had bed bugs in them, so he was killing them. He explained that a bit earlier, actually.
I had to. I was baking out the bugs to make sure anything that was in there was dead.
There you go. That's pretty smart.
How you doing, Fox?
I know next month is definitely, it's No Shave November, testicular cancer awareness, but also something to do with diabetes awareness.
Yeah, no, Megaleech was saying blue for the Democratic blue color, hoping that Biden wins the presidential election.
Yeah. Guys, that's like 9 days away. 9 days, but we're not going to know on November 30 when's the election.
Tell you what, Echo, I will actually go out and buy myself a blue flavored cordial of some description if Biden wins the next election, just to come on a live stream so that Angry can make himself a blue cocktail. Anybody else can make themselves a blue cocktail, and I'll drink my blue cordial.
There you go.
Yeah. And you can get blue cordial in the supermarkets. I have seen it. So
I just don't know what it tastes like.
They normally say it's either they'll say something like it's sugar flavored is what it is, but they'll say it's blueberry, or sometimes they'll say it's bubble gum
or blue ice. Look, honestly, if you're getting blue stuff, wouldn't you go get a sports drink?
Yeah,
I can't.
Yes, you could get a sports drink. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm one of those weird people that can't stand the flavor of them.
all right.
No, sports drinks are gross.
I'll bet that you would like the flavor if you were absolutely washed out
blue ice
after a run or something.
Yeah.
No, I tried to make blueberry iced tea once, and it was an abject failure. It was just way too sweet.
Just get blueberry juice.
Yeah.
Blueberries are more or less in season. They're not that expensive in the supermarket. Just get some blueberries and mush them up and add lemonade or something.
There you go.
That'd be good.
Philip's camera reminds me of a Zoom meeting with work. The way his headphones and the whiteboard. It's just like a meeting with my manager, and they're like the only person in the office for the week that's allowed to be there. It's so funny. I live next to a college, and there's like always this one lady in her Prius. She's the only person in the whole one office building, and every fucking weekday she's there. And I'm like, she's the one girl who didn't have a computer at home.
So, Chris, I'll let you explain why it looks so incredibly formal.
I love it.
My office here is in the front room of my house, and I've actually set it up as a set for YouTube. So I do educational YouTube stuff. I'm an accounting lecturer.
Hey.
So it looks the part, like
I got corners in my room for the same type of thing.
Yay, blueberries. So that's why. And actually, like what I've got here, let me just sort of.
Oh yeah, show us. Oh, that's a nice light.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like I've got my 3.
Look at you.
Got
Ooh.
monitors all over.
Like
Right?
you got the 3 screens and everything.
Blue.
This
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah, I need to hook my third monitor back up.
Who needs a living room when you can have a studio? Honest.
Well, having PowerPoint in the ceiling is the very, very best thing, right? So
that-
we got
Oh yeah.
an
lovely.
electrician in, and I said, look, man, I want PowerPoints. I want PowerPoints for all my computer gear, and I want them in the ceilings because I want to be able to hang lights from the ceiling as well, because that way, like I've got a little spot just over there. I know that if I put this camera onto this DSLR, I don't have to think. I can always use. I don't have a field monitor as well because I'm constantly delivering to a camera. So I've always using the same focus, always using the same sound setup, and it's a set, but it's also a functional office as well.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I've been in the military for 10 years, so when you said PowerPoint, I thought you were talking about like PowerPoint's on the ceiling. You're projecting a PowerPoint presentation. I'm like
PowerPoint presentation.
What? Like, okay, so a socket from which,
I was just calling it an outlet or something.
Yeah. Here that would be called an electrical outlet.
An outlet. Okay, there you go. Yeah. So,
Right.
a little Aussieism.
Yeah,
Aussie
that's the Australian vernacular coming through.
Oh,
When I needed to do the Wi-Fi network for my house, after we finally got the bloody NBN connected here, which took forever, I needed to set up a couple of Wi-Fi access points to actually broadcast the Wi-Fi signal. And one of the hard parts with a lot of the older tech out there is that you needed to power those little Wi-Fi extenders. But I came across these ones from a company called Ubiquiti.
Good company.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. And I got 3 of them and had the electricians run 3 power over Ethernet lines.
Oh wow.
And the power over Ethernet actually powers the Ubiquiti Wi-Fi extenders for the whole house.
That actually reminds me. I wanted to make a addition to what I was saying about the cameras earlier. All of these cameras are PoE cameras. They get their power from the Ethernet. But if you have a building that has the old coax and it's completely inaccessible, you want to use new cameras, you can still use that coax. They make converters. This is not one of them.
Yeah.
That will put your PoE and 100 megabit or sometimes gigabit Ethernet on that coax, and you can push it well over 500 feet, maybe over 1,000 feet.
If I might be able to ask you a question at all, Philip.
Go ahead.
Are you a CPA or just a lecturer? Or awesome.
Yeah, no. I'm a CPA. I recently threw in my license for the Institute of Public Accountants because I can't pay. It's just I'm losing money, and
fancy man down here.
Yeah, I'm a CPA.
I'm going to momentarily make Abigail happy as we've had the different flavor of nerding tonight. We've gone from the sci-fi and fantasy nerdery of last night to the tech nerdery of tonight, which is excellent variety in my opinion. But Kelly, aka Invisible Chicken, who's on last night, found this thread that someone had posted online, and I've seen this before as well. It's about Elvish dialects in The Lord of the Rings.
Oh, there you go.
To make Abigail happy, it starts off with someone saying, Legolas pretty quickly gets in the habit of venting about his traveling companions in Elvish, and so long as Gandalf and Aragorn aren't in earshot, no one will know. Then about a week into their journey, Legolas says in Elvish for about the 20th time, fucking hobbits, they're so annoying. And Frodo replies back to him in Elvish like, yeah, we're the worst. So then Legolas is concerned, and but yeah, when Legolas says fucking hobbits, Merry says, Frodo, what did he say? Frodo said, I'm not sure. He speaks a weird dialect, but I think he's insulting it. I should tell him I could understand Elvish. And Mary says, but you could only tell him that once. And it's, oh yeah, good plan. I'll wait. and then they laugh that Legolas has a hick country elf accent, and Frodo has I learned it from a book accent.
Oh, that's funny.
Wait, now is it actual canon that Frodo knows Elvish, or?
Yes, it is.
Where did he?
In the books. So it's like Legolas goes, "Good, well, your accent's horrible." And Aragorn yells from a distance, "His accent's better than yours, you sylvan hick." And then their other joke of trying to explain to you what Legolas's accent would be like. Like Frodo says, "Hello," in Elvish, in really formal Elvish. "My name is Frodo. I am a hobbit. How are you?" And Legolas is going, "Y'all get the fuck out of here." And Frodo's going, "I can't understand what you're saying." So like, and then someone else chimes in. He goes, "Well, it's not just from a book. It's like the equivalent of his Elvish is the equivalent of Middle English, like he's speaking Chaucerian." So Frodo would be saying to Legolas in Old Elvish, like, "Good morrow to thee, friend. I hope you will be most excellent companions." And Legolas goes, "You what, mate? What, are you having a fucking go? What is it?" So it's just this thing. The elves had all these languages and dialects, and
that makes me wonder. Because when they're standing in front of the door, and he's like, "What's the Elvish word for friend?" Can he not read Elvish?
No,
only speak it.
You're misremembering it. The sign says "Speak, friend, and enter." And they say, "Oh, if you were a friend, you would know it's a verbal password on this door. It's magical. And if you were a friend, you would know the password." And Gandalf keeps guessing. It's like a hacker trying to guess, is their password? No. Is it password 1? No. Is it password with a 0?
I understand that he could not. God dang it.
Reminds me of a real life story that happened to me about 5-6 years ago. Was heading into the Sydney CBD with a few of my friends. 2 of them happened to be profoundly deaf. The other one is an interpreter, and me, I'm conversational in sign language. I'm certainly not fluent by any stretch. But because the other 2 are profoundly deaf, we basically turned our voices off, is what we refer to it as, and we sat there and just signed, as you do. And we're on a train heading into the city, and 2 of the girls, the 2 of the girls that were with us that were profoundly deaf, one of them, trying to be polite, has rather large breasts, and has a tendency to draw a little bit of attention because she has large breasts. And unfortunately, a lot of the time, very unwanted attention. And as was the case this night, as we're sitting there, we're signing away. A couple of guys have hopped onto the train, and they've seen us signing, so have immediately assumed that all 4 of us were deaf, and decided that they would then sit down and talk loudly and at length about what they would like to do with my friend and her breasts, what they may or may not do to the other ones, and all of this. And me and the interpreter were sitting there interpreting to these 2 girls what these disgusting pieces of shit were saying, and how sorry we were that this was happening to them. And the deaf girl was just like, "Oh my God, they're so ugly though. I would never fuck them. They're so ugly. So why do they care? Like, can you tell them that I think that they're fucking ugly so that they will shut up?" And we're like, "It doesn't work that way in the hearing world as a general rule. Sorry." But what we'll do is we'll just keep on signing. And if they get any more offensive, then Shannon, me, will stand up and ask them to, shut up and move away or whatever. And we were like, "Yep, okay, that's the deal." And these guys, after they'd said their particularly horrid fucking comments, it basically calmed down and started talking amongst themselves. And they're on their phones and they're playing music and they're just being loud and obnoxious. And a bunch of other people on the train are starting to get audibly annoyed with them. And there was this one point where there was a rather large, Tongan fellow had hopped onto the train. This guy was 6'9" tall. He had to bend his head down as he was walking down the train aisle type thing. Probably weighed the better part of
Tongan?
Probably weighed the better. Yeah, Tongan. Probably weighed the better part of 200 kilos, pure muscle. He was absolutely massive. And these guys are being loud and obnoxious, and he's just basically turned around to them and said, shut the fuck up. These guys took one look at him, and up the shut fuck did they ever. They just went, and they started being very quiet, and with trains pulling into the next station. And as the guys are walking past, I turned around to him and just went, "Oh, just so you know, the deaf girl here thinks you're both fuck ugly as well, so fuck off." And they just fucking ran away.
You get it. You gotta wait until it's ripe to lay it out.
Yeah.
Look, I mean,
let that fruit ripen.
No, well, I do everything that I can not to get into any kind of violent altercation whatsoever.
Yeah.
And I knew that with just me and them, and there were two of them versus me, it was going to end very, very poorly. So it was difficult to enter into that situation in the first place. But when you've got a gigantic Tongan fellow that doesn't like them very much, that has just basically told them to shut the fuck up, all of a sudden you've got a lot more freedom with the way that you deal with these dickheads.
I'm not sure what Tongan means, but I assume it's like an ethnicity.
From the Pacific island of Tonga. Like The Rock is basically of similar ethnic stock to Tongans. I think he's Hawaiian.
The Rock is Hawaiian.
Those are the best stories when you get a group of people and another group of people assumes that they don't understand the language and silently understands it, and then later on turns it around and embarrasses them.
It's
Those
another
are the
common
best.
thing. It's another common thing when somebody meets somebody who's deaf. They get this very often question of, "Oh, so you can read lips because the deaf person may be verbal," and they're like, "Well, kind of, because lip reading is not by any stretch of the imagination an exact science. It is for the most part guesswork."
Yeah. Like,
and
You gotta put everything into context. You can't just have one word by itself.
There's a YouTube channel called Bad Lip Reading.
Yeah.
For fun, they go off TV things and movies, and they just come up with a plausible bit of dialogue that kind of matches the lips, and it's hilarious.
My favorite one is by DJO, or Day Job Orchestra. They do a lot of Star Trek ones, and they replaced every time they say Enterprise, they actually say the word apple juice.
Yeah, that's funny. That's funny.
It's one of the things that a deaf actor actually pointed out once about lip reading was if you look at the mouth muscles and the way that the mouth moves when somebody says "I love you," it is also it looks very, very similar to elephant shoe.
It's like vacuum and FU. It's very similar.
Yeah.
Yep. So,
heaven forbid you have to do one of the lip reading for someone in a language that uses clicks.
That's not going to work.
Yeah,
really tonal languages would be very difficult as well.
Yes.
To add an interesting fact there as well, if you are on the spectrum and you have a problem with empathy as part of how you deal with other humans, that would add in a really interesting way, because you're picking up so much here just by the context of someone's happy, sad, we are in a marketplace, we're in an airport or whatever, like you said, it's deep guessing more than lip reading. And I imagine that if you're doubly kneecapped somehow, it'd
be really hard to,
Well, it is a thing. Deaf people, I think, out of necessity, become incredibly good at reading body language and facial expressions and stuff like that.
Yeah,
as I've said as I've said in other streams before, the same sign can mean 6 different things depending on the body language and the facial expression that it's actually delivered with. So there is some, and I stress the word some, studies out there that say that those with neurodivergence on the spectrum that have difficulty reading facial face language and body language and stuff like that, that they can, to a certain degree, teach themselves over time if they're like specifically concentrating on trying to teach themselves what this facial expression means or what this body language is trying to convey. But again, that is some studies. There's nothing 100% confirmed about that. But if you're talking about the double-edged sword, some of the most interesting people that I've met have been deaf-blind people. And there's this lady, who I won't say her name, that comes that's heavily involved in the deaf community in Australia. Now, she was deaf from birth, but she lost her vision over time. And I think she was in her early 20s when she went completely blind. Now, she has a signing technique which is literally hand over hand sign. And it's the most amazing thing in the world, in that when you're communicating with her, she'll put her hands on top of your hands and you will start to sign. But she will actually pick up even finger spelling, which is absolutely amazing. Because if you think about it, you've got your 5 fingers, and that is your vowels in Australian Sign Language: A, E, I, O, U. So in some of your finger spelling, you got to point to the finger or whatever, and she will actually pick up on that and still correctly interpret what it is that you've been signing to her. It's some of the most amazing things in the world. That is a true skill. The idea that a deaf person could watch somebody talking over the other side of the room and tell you exactly what they've said verbatim, word for word, is, as Andrew was saying the other night, is complete fucking fantasy. It just it cannot happen.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Helen
Also,
Keller
it's
had to do it. They
bedtime.
were
Sorry,
like
I'm
one
just
of the
jumping in. It's bedtime. I'm talking over
hold up.
everyone. It's
It is
bedtime. I'm talking over everyone. It's bedtime. I'm switching it off because I'm going to bed. It's bedtime.
Same here.
Well, thank you for letting me in, Angry, and it was great to see you, even if briefly.
Yes. I just want to throw in, because I looked up that meme that Miserable Chicken shared on Facebook. Another friend shared one that I just want to share because I think it sums up a lot of people how they feel about their self-image. It starts with, me, I look nice. Mirrors, you look nice. Shop windows, you look nice. Other people, you look nice. iPhone forward-facing camera. What up, you 6-chin Shrek-looking bag of cat piss?
That's a great way to let it off for the night, folks. Good night.
Yeah.
100%.
So, go out on that one. See you all later. Another time. Bye for now. Bye.
Thank you very much.